Game Week 12 is finally here after a long international break, and it's time to run through my team selection for this game week. There's plenty of decisions to be made with Gabriel's injury, Semenyo's potential injury, and just general team selection. So if you do like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and let's get straight into the team. So as always then, we start with David Raya in goal at home to Tottenham in the North London derby. There is a little bit of clean sheet potential here. Tottenham a very up and down season, hard to know what you're going to get, and with it being a derby, again, you just don't know what you're going to get from a derby. So obviously very happy to play Raya, and that Arsenal defence is absolutely solid. And even with Gabriel's potential injury, I still see the Arsenal defence continuing to keep a good amount of clean sheets. And then Dubravka will obviously sit on the bench with Chelsea at home. Then I'm going to move into the back four this week. So there'll be 4 starting defenders. At the moment, I've obviously mentioned Gabriel is injured, so he is just a placeholder as for now. Got a few transfers lined up. You'll see them a bit later in the video. Would have obviously been happy to start him anyway. Same reasons as Raya. There is a little bit of clean sheet potential there, and his attacking threat was obviously second to none really in defence in the Premier League, certainly from centre backs anyway. But obviously that's in the past now. We're going to have to look elsewhere with him being out for, as the Mikel Arteta said, for weeks. So we'll move on. We go to Chris Richards then as my next starter. Wolves away. I really like this fixture. I think it's probably one of the best away fixtures apart from West Ham in the Premier League at the moment. And Chris Richards off 2 clean sheets in a row, a 6-pointer and an 8-pointer. So we did hit DEFCON in the last game as well. So I'll be hoping for pretty much the same. That's all you can really expect from Chris Richards. The next one's an interesting one. It's Reece James. He was somebody I was really looking forward to. They had Wolves at home, obviously before the international break, Chelsea, and then he gets benched and he plays 13 minutes. So there is a bit of worry there going into this game week, certainly. It's Burnley away. It's another fixture where you would expect Chelsea to do pretty well and potentially keep a clean sheet, and potentially for somebody like Reece James to offer a little bit of attacking threat, maybe nab an assist or something. But he has to play. So I am slightly worried, but I've got no real urgency to transfer him out just yet. I just want to ride out this fixture. If we get another bench in this week, I think I'll look to reassess going into next game week. But I'll back Reece James for now in this Burnley fixture. My last place in the starting defence is Marco Senesi. Somebody I'm very happy to stick with, certainly because of the turnaround in Bournemouth's fixtures now. They have West Ham at home, another fantastic fixture. They've got Sunderland away next, which is probably more difficult than maybe we thought at the start of the season, but still a promoted team at away, and then Everton at home after that. So 3 fixtures which I don't mind playing Marco Senesi in. Obviously, very consistent for DEFCON, and I will be looking for that alongside the clean sheet, pretty much the same as Chris Richards. Joe Rodon holds his place on the bench, and I don't really have any intention of trying to squeeze him in late for anybody. So the midfield is where things get a little bit more difficult and a little bit more complicated. Starting probably with the easiest decision, that's playing Bukayo Saka. North London derby is a fixture where I feel that he will thrive in. So I've got no qualms in playing Bukayo Saka this week. The next up is Iliman Ndiaye, which maybe I could see him drop to the bench, and maybe you will see that later in the video once the transfers have been made. Manchester United away. It's not the easiest. Everton haven't got the greatest record against Manchester United, but I do think if Everton can turn up and Iliman Ndiaye can be the player that we all know he can be, there's a lot of potential for points for him actually away at Old Trafford. I still feel that. So I am scared to bench him, but it could be that he ends up on my bench by the end of this video. Then next up, Antoine Semenyo. Now this one's an interesting one. We didn't really get the information we wanted from the press conference. It's basically we'll have to wait and see. Now, for me, that means I start him actually. I think West Ham at home is an ideal fixture for somebody like Semenyo. So if he does play, you want him in your lineup. But I am hopeful that if he doesn't play, or if he's not fit enough to start, he won't be on the bench. So automatic substitutions will come into play. I don't think he'll take Semenyo to put him on the bench. He's either starting or he's not in the team at all. So I will risk that, and I will play Antoine Semenyo because of the fixture as well. Then obviously that means the benching for Caicedo, which I don't completely love. I can't rely. He's not somebody you put in your team for attacking returns, even though he's put us some decent attacking returns this season already. I don't think he's somebody you can rely on for them. So I can't bring myself to start him, even though it is Burnley away. Reinders is somebody who will be sacrificed. I've talked weeks and weeks about transferring Tierney Reinders. Do not like him as an option. I think this is the week to finally do it. I was happy to stick him on my bench most weeks. He wasn't causing too many issues there. So this is the week where he will be going out, and you will see that later. The only other thing was we'll have to discuss the order of the bench as well. So straight up top then, and it's Nick Voltemade in at home to Manchester City. So a difficult fixture really for Newcastle this week, but I've said in previous videos how good, and I think we all know how good Newcastle can be at home against just about anybody, especially when the top teams come to St James's Park. The crowd really get behind them, and there is potential for goals for Newcastle. City aren't the most watertight defence, and if Newcastle score, there's a good chance Voltemade will be on the other end of that. On the flip side then, on the other end of the pitch, you've got Erling Haaland up front for Manchester City. Away at Newcastle, like I say, will be a very difficult game for them. But it just doesn't feel right to back against Erling Haaland against anybody at the moment. He can score against anybody. He's in absolutely fantastic form. And to be honest, although there's some players with some good fixtures, like as you'll see next, Mateta, Semenyo, but we don't know if he's fit. There's no real standout captains. If Saka had somebody a little bit easier than Tottenham and the North London derby, say Saka was playing somebody like Wolves or something, then we have a decision to make. But for now, I'm really happy just to keep it on Erling Haaland and not take too much of a risk in that area. Then, as I move on to Jean-Philippe Mateta, pretty much like I said about Richards, it's a really, really nice fixture away at Wolves. Even if the clean sheet isn't there for Richards, I would certainly be expecting Crystal Palace to be scoring a few goals in this game. Even with the new manager in place at Wolves now, I don't see that bounce happening straight away or any turnaround happening in their form just yet. And I do think Crystal Palace and Mateta can do some damage. Let's go and talk about these transfers then. So the two transfers at the moment, I have 3 available and 2 I will be planning on making. One, an absolute certainty, Gabriel will be going out and it will be Virgil van Dijk coming in. I want to bring in a Liverpool player, even though they are struggling for form. I feel like this is a moment where they could recapture it, and you're looking at a run of 3 fixtures for Liverpool now, which are fantastic, and I want a Liverpool player in my team for that. So it will be certainly Virgil van Dijk. And like I said before, Tierney Reinders is finally a go for me. And I'm 90% sure I'm going to be bringing in Yankuba Minta, I think. He will be coming in. I really like the fixture at home to Brentford. And there's a lot of potential for him. I'm looking at him. He's a bit of a differential. I'm not blown away by his attacking stats. Certainly his XG, XA, but he could chip in with more goals, but he certainly is a bit more of an assist merchant for Brighton this season. If he can chip in with a few more goals, and certainly in the next few weeks where Brighton's fixtures aren't too bad, then I'll be happy. I wanted to bring in somebody who has a bit more attacking threat than Reinders, and somebody who's a little bit more exciting. So that's the reason why I've gone with Minter. So quickly then, this is exactly how the team will line up. So it will be Iliman and Dye dropping for now to the bench. Come the deadline, I think I will have Iliman and Dye first place on my bench. It's a toss-up between him and Caicedo, and as I talk right now, I haven't fully decided come the deadline if Iliman and Dye or Caicedo will be in the first bench slot to cover that Semenyo injury if he doesn't play. I am edging towards Iliman and Dye because pretty much like I explained with Minter before, he is the attacking, more exciting player. Caicedo, nitty gritty, maybe will get me some DEFCON points, but like I said, you can't put him in relying on attacking returns. They've been more of a luxury and a bonus, I think, in recent weeks. So that's pretty much how this team will be lining up. So I really hope you enjoyed that video, and good luck going into game week 12. It's now the big slog up until sort of the Christmas period and beyond. FPL and Premier League is going to be relentless week in, week out, and even with some midweek fixtures thrown in there. The next break will probably be round the FA Cup third round in January. So it's going to be an intense period. So let's hopefully we can get off all to a good start during this period. Like I said, if you did like the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next week.